5. Sorry, I'm just kind of cracking up. One of my teammates is really being hilarious today, and I'm getting. Too much fun. All right, here, here we go. Here we go, guys. Here at the bottom right side of Avalon Flats, it is going to be for Fnatic, their final player out today. It is Night End, of course, sitting against the ropes, having a very tough task in front of him. Having to not only take out 4GG, but whoever the next two Millenium members are, if in fact he does. So, that is his situation in case. Meanwhile, for 4GG, already winning 3 games in a row, back to back to back, setting his team up with a 3-1 lead in this team league match, the 1x BNet League, sponsored by Cascade Gaming, as much as I've understood. Starting off, of course, with this 10 supply, nothing too out of the ordinary. We watched earlier today. He started off very simplistic with Hellion Banshee opener, and of course, Zanster was just kind of gave no recognition to it, and basically fell apart to that. And by the time he had Mutas, 4GG had more than enough to stop him. Second game, I'm trying to already remember what the heck it was. Second game was against Nama. Nama was trying to go for something one base, Banshee Hellion-esque, try to get really fast Hellions, but 4GG really did control his ramp on Ohan with 6 Marines, got his own Hellions out, got a Viking for the Banshees, and then eventually had a Raven, Vikings, a lot of Hellions and some Marines, and eventually pushed Nama to death. 4GG had a very early he had an in-base expansion for a lot of the time as well, which gave him additional SCV and mules to utilize. So eventually, once he was able to push Nama back, he stabilized and counter-pushed and basically killed him. As we just recently saw in game number 4 on Entombed, good 1-1-1 coming out from 4GG, started out with the Cloak Banshees. Now, I really thought Hearthstone had a hold on it when he had 2 Observers out, very quick 2 early Observers and Stalkers to the 4GG quick Cloak Banshees. He went very fast Cloak Banshees. Had detection and the necessary defenses for him, so they weren't able to realistically do too much, but because he invested in about 3 observers, didn't really invest into getting a lot of production facilities so he could get more warp-ins, get more units out on the field, get immortals a little bit sooner. He did fall behind on that, and eventually when 4GG came with about 3 Cloaked Banshees to harass, it was just a little bit too much for him to handle. It picked off a lot of the shields off the Immortals, picked off a few Stalkers, some Sentries, some ground units, some of the economy, and then eventually finally pushed his way in with the 1-1-1, which of course had just way too much DPS with the Siege, Tank Splash, and the Marines and the Banshees, and of course the SCVs being a little bit of a meat shield / repair for 4GG. So overall, has had 3 solid games, 3 solid builds, and we'll see what he's going to be capable of doing in game number 4. At the moment, looks like the Protoss player is going to be going to Gd. There we go, with the 1-get expand. Meanwhile, 4GG has gone 1 Rax expand, adding additional 2 more barracks. And now will 4GG go for one of my kind of favorite build orders, which is basically you go into 5 racks off of 1 Rax expand or off of CC first and pull the SCVs and then try to do something crazy like that. And no, in fact, indeed, it is not going to be that. He is adding double gas, so of course that means he is willing to tech up. Now, with the 4 Marines, he should be able to control his ramp. He does have to be careful just in case Night End does come up with a Stalker and a Zealot up to the front. It will be a little bit hard for him to micro, but again, with the additional 2 barracks finishing up, should have enough Marines to be able to push any early aggression back. I'm really liking 4GG's style right now. It's kind of a little bit something I haven't watched him in a while, so for me it's a little bit refreshing to watch what he's doing at the moment, giving me a little bit of a new insight to his gameplay that I haven't seen in a while. Other than that, I mean, it's a peaceful, it's a really peaceful game, man. They kind of like checked each other out and we're like, oh, well, you know, let's macro up, man. Let's get our expansions, let's get our tech up, and we'll go at it later at the later portions of the game. Talker is coming on up, good micro by Night End, making sure he doesn't get picked off by Marines or get his shields picked off. And oh, look at this, he actually might have an opportunity in front of him to be able to pick off an SCV. Will he? Yes, no, he won't. He actually will not. Not only will he not pick off an SCV, he will lose that Stalker completely. Those baller nerd hero Marines, look at them just looking sexy with their very high stutter step DPS, right? Indeed. Night End is going to continue on, just kind of macroing up. He knows exactly kind of what's going on. He sees a lot of Marines. The only thing that might kind of scare me is just looking at that Marine number. If that came to the front with SCVs, that would be pretty hard to hold. And which he actually might be able to do some serious damage here as we take a look and see how many Marines is that. That is Good little pack right there walking across the map. If we can follow those bad boys, and yes, indeed they are. Looks like 10 of them to be exact, and there's the observer. What is there on the map right now at the moment for Nida? Nothing really. He's got a couple zealots and about 3 sentries. First sentry already going down. No Marines lost. We'll see how well he trades. I think he's just trying to be very patient at the moment and just focusing down the pylon at the front. Stutter stepping, trying to get the zealot out of the game, and this is becoming very hard. One zealot already down. Shields and HP are practically off of both the other 2 zealots, and Niden's kind of might fall apart right here and now, guys. He's losing another zealot. Now you can press him back. We can focus fire some of the warping in units, pulling probes now to hold this off, and now that's going to really, really hurt Niden. Again, the Marine count getting a little bit lower and lower. He's slowly chipping away, but you do not want to lose this many units to just a small Marine pressure such as this. Now he's stutter stepping really well, just going back as best as he possibly can. Takes out one more zealot, which is nice. But eventually Night End is able to hold. Let's take a look at the kill count overall. 5 total probes throughout the game have been killed throughout that engagement. 4 to be exact. So, and now here comes 4GG with a follow-up. Does he have Stim finished up? Just about, and also one attack about halfway done. And I really, really don't think that Night End will have enough to hold this off, because with Stim he will be able to kite him forever and ever. And I mean, after one set of force fields, Night End's not going to be able to prevent 4GG from coming up his ramp, man. There's just a lot of bio coming at the very early stages of the game, prior to when he can get out his own Immortals, prior to when he get out his Colossus. And here we go, Stim coming up right on up in here already. One down. He's going to focus down. The Zealot's kiting back. Good job. Wonderful job by 4GG. Mark on this back, and he's going to continue stimming. He's going to back up a little bit. Now, will Night End be able to clear this out? It is possible. There's still that Zealot alive, and look at Night End, man. Not doing too bad of a job, but the reinforcing units for 4GG are coming on in here. The Zealot getting knocked over, and now the sentries and Stalker are pretty naked. The first Immortal finally is coming out on the field, and that should help even out the battle. Night End doing a wonderful job of holding these continuous early aggressions coming from 4GG, and at the same time 4GG is doing a wonderful job setting up these early aggressions as well. This is forcing Night End to push out units as quick as he possibly can. Doesn't allow him to focus on tech, doesn't allow him to focus on upgrades, doesn't allow him to focus on his economy building. So really nice aggressive play from 4GG. This is just kind of really disallowing him for being comfortable. Now, 4 sentries are out total on the field. They all have enough for force fields, which of course is more than enough to force field this ramp, so definitely 4GG is going to have to be very careful. He does have the observer right over the top of him, and I think he does realize that. Does he have a scan available to him? Indeed, he does not at the moment, but he will from this one in his main in just a second, and of course he's just kind of waiting to clear out that observer. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of moving back and forth just to make sure to see something's actually moving on over here. And now with the medevacs joining up, this actually just might be a little bit too much potentially for Night End to hold off, as we see 1 Immortal, 4 Stalkers, 4 Sentries, and 1 Zealot with an additional Stalker warping in. He's coming up forward, already 1 force field going down, drawing 1 out to another force field going down, and now focusing the Immortal out of the way. The medevac with the heals might be just a little bit too much, getting the Sentries out of the game. Stalkers at the front getting picked off, and the last Sentry goes down, and now it is a stimmed army with medevacs coming on forward. These Stalkers are completely compromised, and I mean, the chances of him are holding this off is very, very low, as we see as well. He's trying to get the medevacs out of the game, but again, as well, the Stalkers are in very low HP range, a lot in the red and the orange. Now the Immortal walking right on down to his death really quickly, and as we see more and more and more carnage coming out from 4GG, just doing so much damage, but he does have to be a little bit careful. He should probably just kind of regroup, pull back for just 1 second. He's got a medevacs capable for himself. Good blink forward, actually. Really love this from Night End, picking off some of the medevacs, trying to get the forward one out of the game. And this is going to help him out. This is going to actually push back 4GG for the moment. That's going to make him recoup his units. Any sim that he utilizes is not going to get back. And as we see, he's just going on forward now. And picking off already, as we see, he's picking off a Marauder, but yeah, kind of a little bit, maybe a little bit of an overextension. Has to be just kind of careful and blowing it on forward, man. Look at Night End's micro, man. I'm loving it. I'm really loving the play out from Night End, man. Holding off all this really, really tough early aggression coming out from 4GG, man. He's doing such a wonderful job doing it as well. Now 4GG going to be already has his 3rd down over here at the 3rd location. He's knocking down his rocks. He's got an additional 2 medevacs that just came out. Is the robotics bay up? No, it is not, and it looks like he will just go for the Templar archives and transition from there. The factory is just about to be burned down. Hopefully he got an armory out, and indeed he did, with an additional starport as well. So 4GG basically covering all of his bases. I mean, the overall game right now is looking very good for 4GG. Has additional bases. He's got an economic lead. He's got a little bit of an army value lead. Now, upgrade lead, does he have that? At the moment, he does. No, he actually doesn't. Sorry, I apologize. He actually doesn't at the moment. Night End sitting at 1-0, about to get 2-0 done, and as well as getting his charge upgrade. Meanwhile, 1 armor and 2 attack is just getting going for Night End. Now, I am worried again. Like I said, this is a big army for 4GG coming out here with a lot of medevacs, 6 medevacs, a lot of marines, so that's a lot of DPS for the Stalkers to handle. And some of these units heading across the map, yep, definitely going to have to blink on back. And at this point, Night End's going to have to hit nearly the most perfect force fields that he possibly can. He's actually warping in Zealots, which was a huge mistake. If he actually put down... if he was able to put down some force fields, he might have got get some sentries. That might have been a little bit of a better decision to pop the Guardian Shield to be able to handle this. But here we go, the army coming on forward over here. Already a lot of the shields for the Stalkers going down. They are the first to fall. Now at this point, with the slow Zealots until charge finishes, which is about 5 seconds away, these Zealots are going to be basically completely useless because they could get kited forever and ever. And just as charge finishes up, they're all dead, and beautiful play